It's the 27th of April at 8:03. I've got my flashers on because I'm parked on the side of this road waiting to unload at this construction site. And there's as you can see, there's a truck in the distance there. Well, there's two, but only one of them's ahead of me. So after I get this unloaded, we'll see what comes our way to start off this new week. In Hudson, Wisconsin. 3 o'clock on the 27th of April. When you're out for 2 weeks straight, I forget all the days. For some reason, I'm really tired right now. Really tired and I feel sore, and I haven't really done anything. I'm a truck driver. I dropped off my load of, here, let me use my 3 points of contact while I get down. I dropped off my steel load today. I'm on my 30-minute break right now because of how long the morning's been. I've a bit so much to say and so disorganized in my head. Dropped off my steel this morning, and I was there for quite a while because there was like a small construction site with like 8 trucks waiting to unload their stuff. I was third in line, and so I was completely unloaded after the 3rd hour mark. I got my next load, which was shingles, and I got that out of Minnesota, Shakopee, Minnesota, and I'm going to Springfield, Missouri. This will be dropped off tomorrow. I'll probably have to drive a couple hours in the morning to finalize to my destination, some supply house, that provides construction materials. And my instructions were a little bit different this time for securing my product. They wanted me to use my coil pads, which I did, but I mean, I have more straps and edges than I have coil pads, so I used all my coil pads, and then I used some other edge protectors on the product, which I've always just used my other edge protectors that I have, and I've never used these coil pads before. I could have I guess I thought about going long ways with my coil pad, but there's no way to hold it in place while I strapped it down. It would have been a nightmare. And I think I was dropping off or coming to pick up a load of shingles when I've been to this truck stop before. I was heading south on I-35 West and stopped at this Pilot or Flying J, same thing. And I was pulling off, and I'm like, oh, this is an interesting looking Flying J, and as soon as I pulled into the parking lot, I'm like, holy crap, I've been here before. So I guess I'm getting around now to repeat business, because the reason I know this parking lot is because you see that those yellow concrete things around the light pole. That is in the dead center of the parking lot, and there's a truck that's trying to park where I first thought about parking, and but I decided to come back here because us flatbedders, we like the back. Anyway, it's all snug and evenly spaced, right dead on center. Usually on our flatbeds, the light marks also the center of the length of our flatbed trailer. And notice that's where they put our single pack of shingles, and then everything else is double stacked on the side. So, and of course, again, I had to take the one loose packet of shingles and throw it on top, so they could all be all your shingles have to be secured either by a strap or by the packet of shingles above it. So I don't know, do I sound less excited? Yeah, I went and I got a soda. Maybe that'll energize me. I'm just feeling, I don't know, kind of blah. So, it was a long weekend in the truck. And the internet worked out pretty well. I was kind of surprised at first when I ran the tests. I was getting like 2 megabits per second download speed, which is horrendous if you're not familiar with, you know, at home with my cable Wi-Fi or my cable internet, you know, I'm looking at 30 to 50 megabit speeds, and 1 and 2 kind of I was thrown for a loop, and then my upload speed was like 0.2, and I was like, what? But anyway, I got on the internet. I was watching Netflix movies like they were going out of style. And a couple times they had a buffering issue, but for the remainder of the part, it seemed to go pretty well. I even played a couple online games that, for the most part, did well. So I was parked fairly close to the main facility, so I don't know if that had anything to do with my internet connection being halfway decent. I can only imagine being parked out at the back 40 and trying to see what kind of internet capabilities I get. But we'll see. I'm gonna, you know, aim to stop at a Flying J tonight, and we'll see if I am able to do anything, because the majority of my evening is spent sleeping. I tend not to do a whole lot when after I get parked, unless I'm parking really early and I don't have to leave until later. So anyway, that's it for right now. Well, I may or may not have to get fuel today, but for sure tomorrow. So that's it for today. We'll see what happens. All right, it's 1:30 on the 28th of April, and I'm on my way to Fort Smith. I dropped off my shingles in Springfield, about 45 miles north of here. I'm at HUD's truck stop. I'm just here doing my 30-minute break, and I know when I was going to deliver my shingles, I'd looked this place up on Google Maps, and I'd knew exactly where it was going to be. And I hear more sirens. Uh-oh. So anyway, I was driving up to this place, and there's a bunch of horns going on now. I was driving up to this place, and the direction on the road I was coming made the turn. Their driveway for deliveries was like, you know, a car's driveway. So and I was in the far right lane trying to make a right turn into like a car driveway, and that wasn't gonna work. So I kept going by it. You know, I was like, oh, that was a horrible setup. And I'm on like a 4-lane major road. So I kept going, and my GPS told me how to get around the block, which was good. So an extra 3 miles for that block, but whatever. I went around the block, and this time I got in the turn lane in the very center. So when I let all the traffic go by so I can have a better angle of attack for that. And I made it in there, got in the back, and they unloaded me. I unstrapped, and the truck, they were doing some kind of construction. I don't know. They were cutting holes in concrete and filling up these squares with rebar and concrete. But anyway, the slurry from them cutting their squares of concrete is now sprayed all over my truck, because it was on the roads were nice and dry, except for where this cement slurry is. So now everything is like covered in like a fine haze of concrete dust and debris. You can barely see the number of my trailer. I'm heading to Fort Smith, which means a load of steel. Most likely, but I don't know. Preloaded trailer. That means I'll have to swap all my gear. So I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to be like a live load type situation where I throw on 6 timbers of my dunnage that I carry with me. I throw it up on the deck and then they load me with the steel I'm going to be carrying for my load, which that's what I prefer because it saves me time. Ooh, oversized load coming in. Let's watch this guy. See if I can hold this. There we go. Yeah, it's a pretty good sized parking lot here, so it makes it efficient for pulling over and doing brakes and checks and all kinds of stuff. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like he's carrying some piece of road equipment. It looks like one of those road chewers where they chew up the road and then spit it out the end into a dump truck. So anyway, that's it for now. After my 30-minute break is finished here, I'm going to continue on down to the Fort Smith area, to the Maverick Yard, because it's also a steel loading facility, and see what I get. So far, it's all that I've gotten as far as messages is after I dropped off my load of shingles was, hey, head to Fort Smith, which always means the Fort Smith Yard, Maverick Yard. So we'll see what happens.